Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another channeled message. This time, again, it's Celeste and me. We seem to be channeling a lot lately. So we just click the record button when we start talking about a topic. So beforehand, typically what we do is just chat and then all of a sudden something happens and we start talking. This time we are talking on the topic of dragons. So stick with us because it's really fascinating. So I'm Carolyn, I'm a distance energy healer, I'm a channel, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channels for your spiritual awakening and ascension journey. And typically we have the light keepers showing up with the channel, and then what I do is I give you my take and my experiences on that. But now what I've started to add in the last month or so are channels with my friend and colleague Celeste Ryan. So today you have another channel, it's on dragons, and stick with us like I said. Those of you who are new, I welcome you. I thank you for joining me today. I thank all of you for joining me today. And in the description box below, you're going to find a video that you can check out. It's on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. So check it out, and it leads you to more free content in addition to a channeled message each week. So with that today, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just jump right into the channel. And then at the end, I'm going to join you. So I hope you enjoy this video on dragons. And what was
So with Sarah, she has been watching the Dragon Tamer, the Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon, right? These cartoons.
Okay, I don't know.
Do you know the movies? Okay. Anyways, she said, and it's connected to the Vikings. And I think you and I have connected the dragons with the Vikings.
Correct.
That the dragons.
They just said the Norse, which I know that Norse, they're just trying to verify.
Vikings. Yep. So the dragons were real. And the Vikings were the ones, remember how in one of my channeled messages, it said that I was a dragon tamer.
Yep.
And so was Kent.
And I got something going on as dragons. I forget what it is, but I got something going on.
Well, we're not the only ones. There are other people out there. And here's something else that Sarah said, because it's been coming up a lot for her, that a lot of synchronicities around dragons and the Vikings. And she said that she read something somewhere that said that the earthquakes are going to release the dragons. Did you just get chills?
I have chills, but I'm like, releasing their essence is what I'm hearing. Their energy. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
How will that manifest though?
To be honest, I think the dragons are coming back physically. Hold on.
Okay, they are. They are.
I think they are too.
But
I think they've just been sleeping.
How are they going to manifest?
So.
So are we? Okay, so when we talk about the dragons coming back, okay, here's what I'm seeing. I don't know if this is going to make any sense. Like they're coming out of the earth, but.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing too, is that because we are having, just this month alone, we have had so many earthquakes recently. I don't know if you have noticed that, but there have been huge earthquakes all over the world. And I think that is going to it's going to wake up and release real life dragons.
So here's what I'm picking up. I know this is a real confusing one for me. Okay, so what I'm getting is that it's actually, they just said it depends on your awareness as to what you're going to experience. Like the dragons, okay, I don't know. I'm just talking, okay? Like the dragons are going to release initially in an energetic wave, they're saying. Like it's energy.
That makes sense.
Because everything's energy, first of all, I guess, before it manifests, they just said, okay, everything's energy. And they're saying that it depends on your awareness level as to what you actually experience and see. So in other words, a big wave of energy, however that presents itself, could be seen as just another natural event, right? But others that are experiencing the same event might actually see and experience a dragon in addition to the physical thing. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. So what I'm picking up is that that people, depending on their belief system and how far they are on the ascension path or the spiritual awakening path, that there are some of us who've already been, like, I've been connecting with my dragon. I think you have too. Quite a few people have been connecting with their dragons, okay, or with dragons in general. So those of us, we might actually at some point see a dragon manifested.
Correct.
Like a real 3D dragon.
Because you know what this ties to? This ties to the veil dropping individually for each of us. Because this is not, this is what I've understood. The veil is not dropping collectively like boom. It's all individual, gradual, and then as we keep each of us ascending and awakening, veil drops for us. We see different things at different times. Eventually, we all see the same thing. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, and that's exactly that. That's an excellent explanation for what's happening. It's all individual.
And what cracks me up is that we sit there and go, does that make sense? We're like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, like, right, that makes sense. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so funny to sit and say that, like, yeah, this is just common knowledge. This is so
right. Because and true, because not everyone has this understanding.
No, but it's funny that we're now thinking like that.
I know. And it totally rings true to me. I definitely believe that. And I think the dragons are being woken up and will be released with the multiple earthquakes that are happening.
That makes a lot of sense because there has to be a way for them to come out. Oh, they just said a dimensional shift for them. Like,
oh, and I'm getting chills with that, by the way.
So what does that mean? Well, we know, okay, so I think you and I have talked about this previously, but not in something like this where, and I'm getting this as a confirmation that it's not like they were killed off. They left and went to a different dimension.
Yes. Yep. I totally resonate with that.
But here's the thing. So it's energy. Okay. So they left and went to a different dimension. The energetics of dragon. So dragon will manifest itself again in new forms. It's not like my dragon died and my exact dragon's coming back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the energy will recreate the dragon is what I'm hearing.
The dragons disappeared from human sight, but that doesn't mean they disappeared and became extinct. They didn't. They just went to this other dimension. But as we raise our vibration and become our higher consciousness self, we will then be able to access that higher dimension where they are.
I'm hearing they are this is fun, an energetic substance is what they are.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. No, I can see that. It's so funny because it's like I can see them in my mind's eye. I can almost see them. It's almost like, yeah.
Okay, but here's what I want to know. What's their purpose? What the heck is are the dragons for? What are their purpose? What's the whole point of the dragons? Dragon energy, dragons flying around the sky. I mean, they flew around the sky. Why are they coming back? What's the whole dragon gig, right?
Yeah. What is the dragon gig?
I mean, well, we can talk about that with anything, but.
Yeah. Well, they definitely have this very powerful energy. Okay, so what I'm picking up is that dragon energy actually allows, if you can connect with dragon energy, it allows you to go more deeply into who you really are. Like they are so connected to source.
Okay, can I add to that real quick? Hold your thought. What I just got? They fly you to other dimensional, like they fly you through portals and through worlds and through.
Oh my God, I'm getting chills.
Is that crazy?
I'm getting chills.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So like, okay, I have super chills. So here's the thing. We sit and we think of dragons as a physical thing we're going to get on and fly around and go through a portal or a wormhole. It's the energy that's now going to be available to us of dragon that we can tap into more fully as a collective as we start ascending and awakening. And then you're going to be able to use dragon energy to do your traveling that they used to take you, they used to take you through these places. Now, I feel they did manifest, but I'm also picking up that you can use their energy to do this.
Oh yeah, no, that totally makes sense to me. Yeah, that totally resonates. Absolutely, I can see that. They are, okay, you know what I just got?
Yeah, and I just heard flying through the skies. So go ahead.
Yes, they're alchemists.
That's it. That's why that makes sense. So
they're alchemists, and they can work with our dense energy
once we get to a certain level.
Once we get to a certain level and we can connect with them, they can help us.
Yep. I always do that. Like, what's that even mean, right? But to a certain, yes, exactly. Plane of existence.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
But oh my gosh, can you imagine? I just have these fantasies of going outside and looking up and seeing dragons flying around, because that would be totally cool.
Okay, and see, here's the thing. I think kind of that is the case. I actually know some people right now who see in the sky they've seen dragons in the sky. Okay. But that's they're of that awareness. And I got to get something to write with, because I'm starting to get stuff that I just didn't even say and I should have. Okay, here's what they're saying. The opportunity is going to come to be able to have humankind access the dragon energy to manifest in a different way, is what they just said.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills again. Yes. And for a different purpose.
Creator aspect. They said to bring in the creator aspect in a higher plane way. Like, it's almost like we kind of need assistance. Do you know what I mean? To be all we can be.
They're going to teach us. No, they're going to remind us of our creator abilities.
Right. That's what I'm getting.
Oh yeah.
So
wow.
I kind of want to summarize so people don't get confused. Again, as I always say, which I will always say in every video, take what makes sense for you. If all of it does, great. If none of it does, great. If some of it does, great. But so what we're really getting with respect to this is that, and correct me here, that it's dragons can manifest as dragons, but it's an energy that is eventually, again, going to be accessible to humankind, depending on where everyone is at individually in their ascension awakening journey, to be able to utilize, to create, and to continue to, they just said to grow humankind.
Because here's the thing, so we are moving out of this 3D density where we are in survival mode all the time.
Right.
So we are moving into more of this creatorship, right? So more being able to create different tools or different technology, things that help us be able to spend more time just thriving instead of surviving. The dragons are going to help with that.
No, I totally.
It's almost like they're reaching down and they're just pulling us up to this higher vibrational space where our creatorship will no longer just be about surviving or about, how can we make our life more easy here in this 3D plane, but how can we advance even further into like space travel?
Okay, I'm getting fly through the sky, access to other dimensions. Okay, so fly through the sky. Okay, I feel like what I'm getting here is when they say access to other dimensions, okay, they just said ability to create out of other dimensional space and time. That the dragons assist with that. Their energy assists with that. Because I'm trying to make this like palpable for people. Like, how does that work, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that, but
well, because it's going to unfold over time as
individually.
Yeah, exactly. So we might be doing more videos about this in the next year, because more and more this is going to come into our awareness, and we will be able to kind of untangle exactly what this looks like. But right now, what we're sharing is like it's just a small kernel of what's to come.
Right. And so for instance, as an example, everybody's awareness is shifting through the awakening at different stages and times. And as an example, I have one person that I work, here we go again, I got the cat. This is always what happens when we get into a high vibration space. And they know him, so say hi. It's Hiroshi.
Aw.
Okay,
Hi, Hiroshi.
hi. Okay, now that's your grand entrance. So, okay, so I have somebody that I know who, and this is just an example of how everybody's awareness shifts differently and at different times. She sees faces and everything. She sees so much in the skies, and she'll take pictures, and she, like, every day sees faces in water, sees faces in the skies. It goes on and on and on. And that is her kind of awareness to see the things that we don't typically see, right?
Right.
Like, she just automatically sees them, and then we'll say, do you see that? And then send a photo, and then you can kind of, like, some of us see it, some of us don't, right? But she's like, totally clear for her. That's the way this is going to unfold too. This very unique individual way of seeing.
Oh, right. That's now, and then don't forget that some people are able to feel their dragon. Like, ever since I had a person,
it's energy.
Because it's, yes, and it's a very specific energy. It's so I just want to kind of share, I did this healing session with a woman months ago, and she said, oh, you have a dragon here with you. And ever since then, I can feel him. It's almost like he's got my back, so to speak. He's behind me, and I can feel him. He is such a wise and ancient presence.
Yep.
That's what I feel. He's ancient. He's been around forever, because they seem to live forever. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels like he's super ancient. He has a lot of wisdom to share, and he also protects me.
So the point in this energy coming back, okay, now they're saying is because humankind will be at a level where, there's respect for that energy, again, individually, and a greater understanding of what is available to humankind. And wanting to be more, do you know what I'm saying? Like that desire to be all we can possibly be and create out of that. What are you getting with respect to time travel and travel too? Like,
oh yeah,
portal travel.
Oh yeah,
like your dragon. Like, there's something very key about dragon energy with respect to all of that.
It's what you said earlier about traveling interdimensionally. I absolutely feel that they are the gatekeepers.
Okay.
Of interdimensional travel.
Oh my gosh.
Are you getting
this
that?
makes sense, though. Think about it. We haven't been able to do that for eons because of all that happened, and that's a whole other conversation. But point is so we've been shut down over the years, and eventually, as they just said collective awareness, then the dragons are going to be able to come back, because then we're going to start meeting their vibration. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes. They are the gatekeepers to interdimensional travel.
That's why, because remember, we've talked about the portals, the wormholes, all that stuff being shut down, and yes, they are. Wow, I'm seeing a tail. I'm seeing their tails whipping around like this, like covering, like you can't get through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of those elemental type energies, beings, what have you, that as humankind sunk into this 3D lower vibrational density, that those beings, those elementals, they left.
Well, you want to know what I'm hearing?
What?
Oh no, they didn't leave. You left.
That makes perfect sense. Oh my God, I'm getting chills with that. We left. We sunk down into such very thick, sticky density that we could no longer access them anymore.
Yeah.
We couldn't see them. We couldn't sense them, except some individuals could still, because they were so high vibe.
Right. The vast majority know. And what I'm hearing, they won't shut up about this. Call on your dragon, call on your dragon, call on your dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what they're giving me an analogy of?
What?
Like when you call your dog, come here, come on. They're like, it's about recreating like that relationship between
Mm-hmm.
almost an kind of an animal energy
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I'm saying? Like, how do
Mm-hmm.
you create a relationship, not like with two people, but you would with a furry being or something, your dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
And
is
it's,
really what they're showing. Like, okay, they're showing a horse. This is a better example.
ooh, yeah.
Like how horses are wild horse, just say a wild horse. They're trying to put a saddle on or something, right? I mean, or they're trying to tame. It's different. This is it. This is why they're giving me the horse analogy. They're saying it's all about trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's trust and connection. And so they're showing me a dragon. This is funny. Coming in and with his head down, bowing down and wanting to be petted on the head. Again, this is more of an energetic thing, but they're using this as a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because dragon has very strong roaring energy, and to have it come into a human in a calm, gentle way, that's that building of that relationship. So that's why they're saying call on your dragon and start building the relationship.
That's it. Yeah. Well, whenever I do my healing work, I call in my dragon. Like,
yeah,
he
and
really,
everybody has the
he's
opportunity.
behind me. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Everybody has the opportunity. It's not like certain special people had a dragon or
Exactly. It's they are ready to work with those who are ready.
Yeah, and I'm going back to, this is so fascinating. Dragon did manifest. I don't know why they keep saying dragon instead of dragons. Dragon. They keep saying dragon. Because it's an energy. That's what they're talking about. It manifested. It's a certain kind of energy that manifested in this visual of a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what we're doing is calling in an energy.
Right. No, that makes sense. It's
unavailable to humankind for eons, is what they just said.
Mm-hmm.
Now coming back into your awareness. At a theater near you.
Well, there you go. How to Train Your Dragon number 3. So here's the thing. I really feel the more the earth shifts and the more that we advance on our spiritual path and our spiritual awakening path, the better able we will be able to connect with the dragon energy.
Totally.
But it has to be this mutual respect, right? So yes. The dragons aren't our beasts that we tame. It's a partnership that we have to enter into. So we put a call out there and ask for, is there a dragon that would like to work with me? Yeah. And then you build up that relationship. So in my relationship with my dragon, he feels so ancient, and I know he's very wise. And he also reminds me, like, it's not where one or the other is bowing. Mm. It's that we are mutually respectful of each other. Like, there are things that we have that they don't, and vice versa.
And here's what I'm getting. That's exactly right. I'm getting the taming aspect of that is they just said meeting of the minds. Okay, it's that. Yes. It's that. It's, when I was talking about the dragon bowing its head down so it could be petted on the head, that whole visual. It's that trust, respect. Oh, they just said mutual admiration. Yeah. And then, wow. Oh, this is so interesting. Call on your dragon is what they keep saying. Like, we can start building the relationship. And back kind of to your original point of, because we started talking about earth events, right? And
yes,
dragon energy. Okay, so let's see if we can connect back the earth events to this whole. Is that the releasing of that kind of energy again? Oh, you know what I'm getting? Okay. Whoa, this is interesting. That the earth has to go through its shifts and changes to release some of these energies that haven't been available to humankind for eons. What's that?
Oh my gosh. That is so true. That resonates.
That just came in.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's
That's
so
why it's
here's the thing.
positive. That's why it's positive, because it's going to release
Mhm.
dragon energy again, the opportunity for us to connect, which we can start doing now because we're already having events. But
Right. It's part of the process. So, but here's the thing. Let's not minimize the impact of some of these events, because
oh no.
yes, people, those people who live in the areas where there's earthquakes and stuff like that, it can be devastating,
Well, I
right?
don't think we
It-
were minimizing anything.
okay, yeah. So,
I mean,
and it's, but there's a higher purpose to it.
right, just like we talked about in our last channel, or one of the
Hmm.
ones where we were talking about the earth events, that
Hmm.
this is actually a positive thing overall, but in with our human eyes, we don't see that.
We can't always acknowledge if we're in the midst of trauma and devastation.
Right.
However, there is a higher purpose to this, and part of that higher purpose is to allow us, it's to release the higher vibrational
Yep.
energies that we haven't been able to contact in eons,
Yep.
like you got. So
There's
yeah.
something to do with the earth, and it's shifting and changing for not only its own health, but for releasing.
Yeah.
Like they just said, energies that haven't been available. They just said it again, to humankind for eons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
wondering? There is something, and I don't know my Bible, but you can all. What's interesting is you go back through as you go through the awakening, you start realizing some of this religious text, they got it right, but nobody understood it right, or they twisted the meaning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
actual thing is real. They talk about, and I'm going to get this all wrong. I don't know if it's in Revelations because I've never read Revelations. I just heard this, I think, that at some point in time there will be a releasing of those from behind the wall. Like, I don't know. We won't go there, but
So
I've never.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
But that's
Okay,
interesting.
so that is wild. So that really ties. I mean, this is kind of a segue from what we just did on Sunday with the Earth events potentials to what comes out of that, in at least the way of the dragon energy, and the dragon manifesting into the visual of the dragon. That's what I'm getting. Wow.
Yeah. I can't wait till the
gosh.
dragons return. I can't wait to look up in the sky and see dragons.
Yeah, and there's that part of me that says, or am I just going to feel a certain kind of energy that allows me to do things I never knew I could do? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe they will be literally flying through the skies like Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're it sounds like you're pondering whether or not it's just going to be this energetic feeling, or if it's going to be an actual live dragon.
Correct.
Okay.
Who knows? Or
So
something.
I'm saying,
or
please
something in
let there
between.
be, or something in between. But I personally would love to see actual dragons. I'm just
me
saying.
too. Heck yes. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder how big they are.
I know. I have no idea.
Oh, you know what I just heard?
What?
I didn't expect to get an answer, but apparently that's what happened. Skyscrapers. Like
What?
skyscraper size. Skyscraper size.
That's really huge.
Well,
Sorry, I got a phone
I'm
call.
sure they're all sizes, but the word I heard was skyscraper.
Whoa. Oh no, I actually thought that they were about the size of a bus.
I actually thought they were bigger than a skyscraper.
Really? Oh my God. Okay, but here's the thing. I bet that there are all different sizes.
I think so too.
And okay, so I'm going to throw this in there just because it fascinates me and it's been coming up in my awareness lately. And that is that the Vikings, I'm pretty sure, spent time with real live dragons.
I'm hearing yes. Oh, lots of yeses.
Yeah.
Because here's what happens. Okay, here's what they're saying, because they can physically manifest, as anything can. Like we can. What we don't understand is we could. This sounds kind of Looney Tunes. We could manifest out of the clear blue, no, something, anything we want, we can actually create and manifest. But we are so not there, right? In that ability to do that. We can create,
Right.
build. And so, yes, is what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm. No, humans didn't
They were a
manifest the
creation.
dragons.
Okay, I just heard they were a creation brought to mankind.
Yes.
For good
It's,
intent. I'm hearing for good
Mhm.
intent.
However, I think that mankind did not treat the dragons very well, because the more they fell into fear, they lost that connection, that divine, it was a divine connection that they had to the dragons, and they lost that over time
And I'm
as
hearing,
humankind dropped into that lower density.
yep, and I'm hearing the word, the minute you start talking about that, I heard slayer.
Yep.
Instead of so they turned into the dragon slayer, which that's how we see stuff. Remember, like now, even in movies and stuff, when they show dragons, or at least when they used to, you're slaying the dragon. No, that's exactly what happened. And that's why that we ended up moving to a lower, part of the reason we ended up moving to a lower dimension.
And that's why they left. That's why they left, because of the fear.
We left.
Oh, that's right. Well, in our sinking into this lower density energy, yeah, we couldn't access them anymore.
Yeah. And that's interesting perspective to have them say that we left. It's a whole different way of looking at things, isn't it? They didn't leave.
Yeah.
We were there. We were there where they were, and we left by our actions over time of how we treated Gaia.
Yes. I think that's huge, right?
Because all the gifts brought to us.
Yep. And they talk about the Great Fall, right? With Atlantis and Lemuria and all of that. And which wiped out so many of humankind. And yeah, we just kept sinking and sinking further into lower vibrational density.
You know what they said?
What?
Humans took on godlike power that was abused and misused. It wasn't used. We were given it. God, this is like the Adam and Eve thing. We were given it, and then we had a choice to use it in positive ways to manifest, is what they're saying, or the other. And what we did was we went the other way.
Right. Yep. We went the other way.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, now we're headed back in the right direction.
We are. But I mean, that's a fascinating story. Who knew we'd be talking about dragons today? And like pop that in. And so I think we're kind of done. You think?
I think we've covered quite a bit. This is fascinating. I love this topic, and
I do too, because it's magical. It's the magical stuff. But I love this. I love this because we've talked about how they left, or we left, what they were, what they how they manifested, how we were able to utilize them, how it was a symbiotic relationship, which it was. So we've covered a lot of ground. So yeah, I think thanks for bringing that topic up.
Yeah, no, I love this topic. I think we might, over the coming months and years, I think we might return to this topic a few times.
Especially when we see our dragons in the sky. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. We always find our conversations fascinating. We just end up getting loads of information. And like I said recently, we are starting to share this with you. Why not, right? So take what you think resonates for you, toss the rest aside, and then take it as a piece of the puzzle that you're putting together for your own understanding. So with that today, I thank you so much for joining me. And as I always do, I remind you of my services that Celeste and I are now offering channeled messages where you can work with both of us and receive an audio channeled message of an hour of information for your own journey. So check out purplerainhealing.com, where you can see my services, distance energy healing, channeled messages, including the ones I just mentioned with Celeste, and spiritual awakening mentoring, where I help launch you forward on your awakening journey. I would love to work with you, so check it out. And again, as always, thank you so much for joining me in this video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.